Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. In this video, I want us to have a look at some remarks made by Silvanus Osoro, Mugirango South Member of Parliament. For the remarks have shocked very many Kenyans and more so the hustlers. Citizen TV Kenya, we will pass the finance bill, government does not lose, MP Silvanus Osoro says. That's Silvanus Osoro speaking today in front of William Samoei Ruto. And he's making it very clear without mincing his words that Kenya Kwanza members of parliament will pass the finance bill. And that's very interesting because about two days ago, Nandi Senator Samson Chiragei also made it very clear without mincing his words that the bill will be passed without even removing a comma. That was the Nandi senator. And Boni Aluale also made these remarks. Kenyans need to know that other countries that give us foreign aid tax their people more than us. That's Boni Aluale about 1 day ago again. I think that was yesterday. So you are seeing clearly the kind of arrogance being exhibited by these Kenya Kwanza leaders. In other words, they're just saying, we will pass the bill as it is. Mutadu. And this is very ironical because the government is appealing to Kenyans to give their views on the finance bill. Was the need of the government or rather of Kenyans giving out their views on finance bill when already a decision has been made that the finance bill will be passed without even removing a comma? I believe Ruto's government is just wasting Kenyans' time by telling them to send their maybe views on the finance bill. So the government is just wasting Kenyans' time and taking Kenyans for granted. In this video, as usual, I want us to dig deep into this, in which I'll explain what this means politically and what it portends for Ruto's government and for Kenyans at large. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Let's proceed. Yes. It's very clear that these Kenya Kwanza leaders are very arrogant and full of chest thumping. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? If you look at it objectively, the first meaning to that, these leaders are drunk with power and they don't care at all what the ground is saying. They are serving the executive at the expense of serving the people. They don't just care what the people are saying. And that's very suicidal on the part of the elected leaders. Listening to somebody like this Silvanus Osoro, South Mugrango Member of Parliament, and listening to Boni Aluale, if you look at the areas they come from, these two leaders are clearly committing political suicide. That's a political suicide. These two leaders, Osoro and Boni Aluale, are committing political suicide because most definitely they are being seen on the ground as individuals helping the government to oppress them. And for Samson Cherargei saying that they'll pass it without even changing a comma, Cherargei comes from Nandi. And as much as the Nandi ground might not dump William Ruto, the Nandi ground might put their anger or rather transfer their anger on Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei, in that they'll see Cherargei as the person oppressing them. So in other words, the ground in Nandi might support William Ruto, but might punish Samson Cherargei. So all in all, these leaders are going against the grain. They are digging their own political graves. And then secondly, it means Kenyans are on their own. These elected leaders are not serving the interest of Kenyans because it's almost certain, and this is something that a whooping majority, if not over 80% of Kenyans, are against this bill. And it appears these elected leaders are not bothered at all. They are not serving the people. They are serving their own interests. And this can explain why we have even seen some dumping the opposition joining the government. While it's very clear that the grounds they come from are against their working with the government. But they don't care, they just join the government. And that one should also ring bells in the minds of Kenyans as to why these elected leaders have been crossing over to the government. It's because of their own selfish gains. And that's why now Kenyans should demand, and even if possible, reject these leaders crossing over to the government side. Because I'm very sure if the opposition was that strong, then the opposition leaders could have stopped the finance bill from being passed in parliament. But because all the leaders have been compromised to join the government, Kenyans are left on their own. This is why now Kenyans should demand that any leader elected in the opposition should remain in the opposition to oversight the government. Because a government without any oversight can go rogue. And it's clear this Ruto's government is going rogue. You are seeing the kind of sufferings they are putting on Kenyans. While at the same time, the big boys, positions are being created to accommodate the big boys at the expense of the hustlers' taxpayers. Kenyans should be praying for a strong opposition. Any opposition leader joining the government, Kenyans, if possible, should start the process of recalling those leaders. They are not serving the interests of Kenyans. And also from that, I'm seeing a very high possibility. Why? I'm seeing a very high possibility as to why those leaders are arrogant. They know that after all, Kenyans have got very short memories. They'll make noise, and then after 2 or 1 week, they shall have forgotten. And they'll continue suffering with the burden of the taxes. I strongly believe that Kenyans should once again wake up. This is an issue that should not be forgotten. Any Kenya Kwanza leader or any leader, whether your father, your mother, your cousin, who will pass the finance bill, Kenyans should write the name of that leader down. Come the next election, irrespective of what that leader will have done. Kenyans should reject those kind of leaders. They should reject them because it's clear. They don't have the best interests of the people at heart. They are serving other foreign interests. As I conclude, it's certain now that Ruto lied to Kenyans. He cheated the hustlers that he was going to form a hustlers government. It's clear this is not a hustlers government. This is a dynastist government, a government favoring the rich while oppressing the poor. That comes out very, very clearly. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. In case you want to support our forum, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number. If you have not yet subscribed, subscribe. Give this video a like. Thank you. God bless you.